Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Morales, Director of Partner Relationships with LendSuite. It's my honor today to bring you another exciting webinar. This one is extremely important, especially this time of year. As we all know, it is easy to lend money out, but getting money back in a timely manner is very difficult. Today, I have some very innovative companies that are going to explain their products and how they can help you get more money in without throwing a ton of people at the problem. As we all know, compliance right now is extremely important. So that's another subject we will definitely touch on. So not only will these companies assist you in getting more revenue, they also assist you in making sure that your collection department is compliant without having to worry about training up a bunch of new employees to get the job done during this collection season. So I'm excited today to bring you, like I said, some extremely innovative premier partners. So sit back, let's learn a little bit about how you yourself, even during this time, can get more money back in and increase that return on investment on the funds that you disperse during the holiday season. Thank you. As we continue to dive deeper into collections and how you guys can get more of your money back during this tax season, we have a brand new integrated vendor into Infinity, Total Collectr. So I'm going to bring in David Shekhter with Total Collectr. David, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How you doing?
Doing well. Well, I'm glad we finally have you integrated into Infinity. I know Epic is next, but I wanted to dive in. Tell me a little bit about Total Collectr. What can a lender expect using you guys?
Yeah, first off, appreciate it, Mike. I know we're very excited to be integrated, fully integrated with Infinity. And yes, I know we talked about this a lot, and, tax season is coming up, and, very excited to do this little webinar with you. So, what is Total Collectr? Total Collectr is a technology. We're a SaaS company. We provide lenders, third-party companies as well, but in this scenario, lenders with the ability to really use technology to fully automate their back-end collection process. Think of us as like a virtual agent or virtual collector. What is collections? Historically, collections is somebody defaults, let's say on a loan, you would then put them either into your call center, or you would outsource them into a third-party call center. Problem is, in this day and age, is that one, people don't answer their phones anymore, and two, getting somebody on the phone, challenging as it is, get deep in with a stranger and, tell you about their, personal issues and personal problems is another huge challenge on its own. So Total Collectr, what we are is we are think of us as like we are the virtual component to fully automate your backend process and reach out to customers using every other mode of communication outside of human interaction.
So basically, you allow a lender to do a lot of collection work without a ton of agents.
Yeah, this can be done with no agents at all. We have parts of our software that allows agents to utilize it as well to help them work better and more efficiently, but in essence, it is a completely virtual process.
Okay, awesome. So I know this is a quick webinar, but a lot of topics right now are dealing around compliance, right? Agents make mistakes, especially if I'm ramping up a lot of new agents. How does Total Collectr help prevent compliance issues?
So I'm actually happy you asked that. So we actually built this product because of compliance. So this product was built by industry experts that have decades of experience, owning and operating collection companies, collection agencies. And so the biggest challenge with, especially on the third party, I'll talk about the third party side because that's like the most compliant. And so, if you're dealing with third party agencies, they have to abide by now Regulation F. And there's a whole slew of compliance issues that you have to follow. And so when we built this product, we actually built this really because of compliance issues to start. And so our product is fully compliant. All of the guardrails are there in the back end that lenders can set. You can be as compliant as you want. When I say compliant as you want, going all the way up to, Reg F compliance. We deal with a lot of third-party agencies, a lot of the larger third-party agencies, and they really need to be compliant. Because the problem with compliance is, in the collections in general, is if you get the wrong person saying the wrong thing on the phone, you can have a whole slew of troubles. It can lead to lawsuits. It can lead to, a whole bunch of things. The beauty of our product is try to control that. So once you have any guardrail set in our system, the first thing our system does is look for the compliance rules. That is the first thing that will happen in our platform before anything goes out. It looks for the compliance rules, and I can assure that it will never be uncompliant as long as the compliance rules are set. So yeah, compliance is a huge deal for us. And I think that's one of the big selling points of using Total Collectr.
Okay. Well, sounds like you guys got a very complicated system that helps automate a lot of it. Does it take a long time to set up? What's the process look like?
No, it doesn't. I mean, especially with Infinity. So just to go into the kind of the integration. So, the beauty is we're now fully integrated with Infinity in the platform. So everything is fully automated. So when I use the word automation, it truly is automated. We fetch records from Infinity. The CRM gets updated real time. And so all of this is already set up. So really it's as easy as signing up with us. We create the instance. It probably takes around, a week or two to get everything set up. And then the other part of our kind of value add is we don't just set you up and throw you into the fire. And every customer of us is a dedicated customer success manager that they're going to deal with. We provide a full training program. It's anywhere from a 6 to 12 week training program. Every week we touch in with customers and teach them new things. We hold their hands to make sure that everything is set up properly the way they need it to be set up. And then, hopefully after the training cycle, they're experts in using our platform and, only need us for if any issues arise. But really it's a quick and easy process, especially with Infinity.
Well, that's awesome, David. So again, it seems like something that someone can get up and launch pretty quickly and help really lower some agent costs and at the same time increase their ROI during this tax season. So David, I appreciate you jumping on and let's go help these guys make some money.
Absolutely. And I really appreciate it. And if anybody wants to see a demo, we're available anytime to show a demo of our software. We'll take you through a full demo and show you all the bells and whistles and show you how it's connected to the Infinity platform.
Okay.
And yep, looking forward to it.
Sounds good. Thanks, David.
Thanks so much.
The number one thing I hear about collection season is we must hire more collection units, throw people at the problem. But I can tell you from experience, that is not the way to go. So bringing in next, I have Kirby Miller with VoApps, their Chief Revenue Officer, and the newest integrated partner into Infinity to discuss how VoApps can help you increase your collection revenue without hiring a ton of people. How you doing, Kirby?
Fantastic, Mike. Thanks for having me on.
Real quick, this is a quick webinar. Just give me a quick rundown on VoApps and exactly how you guys can help our customers collect more during the season.
Yeah, great question. I mean, that's what we're here to do, is help out our clients. With VoApps, what we're able to do is deliver voicemails at scale to your clients. In collections, you have to give them a friendly notification to prompt the consumer to make a payment. You can send voicemails. VoApps can send 10,000 voicemails in a matter of 10 minutes. And that gives a nice friendly notification to your consumers to follow a web link that may be in a transcription of your voicemail or call back into your call center. And we pride ourselves on turning your outbound call center, which is what collections typically is, into an inbound collection center.
Well, that's awesome. And I have run into you guys a bunch on the collection conferences, and I do hear that as a major complaint is that too many people call back in. So that's a good problem to have, especially during the season. So let me ask you a question. With more people training, normally compliance comes an issue. Is that something that your messages can be scaled and set up so that way lenders can stay compliant?
Yeah, of course. Where there are compliance concerns in lending or in call centers are usually because of human error. If an agent goes off script, if they leave their mic on when they don't know that they still want to call, sets himself up for error and complaints coming your way. With VoApps, we're going to leave your best recordings 100% of the time. We can have your call center agents actually do the recordings, or you can leverage our professional voice talent. But when you use VoApps and you're sending out thousands of notifications on a given day or given week, you can rest assured that it is going to be your best voicemail approved by your legal team every time.
Okay, that's awesome. So this sounds complicated. Setting up voicemails, getting the script done, the voice. Sounds like this is going to take a long time. Is it something that can be done in time for tax season?
I mean, we have integrations in place with LendSuite companies, Kirby, and Infinity. Moreover, our clients are up and running in less than 2 business days because our input file is so simple. We don't want or need any personal identifiable information. We don't want any financial data. The only thing that we need to kick off your direct drop voicemail campaigns are the phone numbers, and our implementation team can help share bells and whistles that'll make the campaigns even more effective.
Well, Kirby, I appreciate you jumping on here. I know it was a quick call, but I can tell my customers that I have seen VoApps at work, and it definitely does work. So Kirby, thank you, and hopefully we can help some of these lenders make some additional money here.
Bet, Mike. Thanks so much.
All right, part of my job at LendSuite, being the Director of Partner Relations, is finding new and innovative products for our customers. And I'm excited to bring in one today. I've got Rod Hill with NSF Clearinghouse. Rod, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about NSF Clearinghouse. What do you guys do?
We recover declined payments. That's the whole program that we offer is companies that have customers that send them payments that bounce. That's when we come in and we recover those payments that bounce in fast order, 1 to 2 weeks. And we put the funds in the account and we move on to the next batch. That's our entire program. We've been doing it since 1999. And the good news is that all of our customers love us.
That's awesome. So high level, short-term lending industry, how do you see your product working in the lending industry?
Well, this is a new industry for us as well, and it's all about compliance. So as long as we follow the NACHA rules, there will be a problem. The NACHA rules state that you got to have complete authorization from the front end to the back end. We would be considered back end. So as long as there's authorization in place, we'll run the program at a high rate of recovery, the highest possible rate of recovery, and everyone will be thrilled with the results.
Awesome. And so just a little more on the actual mechanics. So as a lender, I would upload to you a return file. And then does that process to a lender's ACH account, or does it process to your ACH accounts to collect the funds?
That's a very good question. Since day one, we use our own accounts to represent items that have failed. So we're talking about NSF items only. And those items come to us in a file format that we provide, and then we load those into our system. We use algorithms to know precisely when it's likely there'll be funds available for us to recover. We take those funds out and we deposit them to our account, all through our account. We don't use the current processor for representing it, all through us.
It's good because I know a lot of lenders really try to keep their NSF return rates in a good spot. So part of the representment scares them because they don't want those numbers to go up. That sounds like you solved that problem for them. So I know it's a new industry for you, but what are you projecting you could see, some ROI, some return rates? What could a lender see instead of using a traditional collection agency using NSF?
That's a really good question because since it's a new industry, we do have some small experience, and we know that it's a difficult industry to keep current, if you will. But the ones that we have been experienced so far, good news is we get anywhere from 25 to 40% recovery on the items that have been sent to us in test box, if you will.
Sounds like a pretty simple product to launch. Is there a lot of friction if a lender decides they want to use you to get this process started?
Absolutely not. We have an agreement that they have to sign and send in to us. There's no long-term commitment or anything like that. If the program works for our clients and it works for us, everybody's happy and we continue. That's the way it works.
Awesome. So seems like a really simple product to use, very low risk to the ACH processor. You guys been around 20 years, so compliance is strong.
It's very strong.
Definitely seems like a new innovative product we're looking for. Rod, I appreciate you joining today.
Yeah, we look forward to working with you and your team moving into a new industry.
As we continue going through different companies that can assist you during this collection season, we have our newest premier partner joining us next, also currently in integration with both Epic and Infinity. Welcome Dustin Mena with Paydit. Dustin, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, Mike. How are you?
Great. Well, Dustin is the VP of Growth with Paydit. Tell me a little bit about Paydit. What do you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. And hello to everyone out there. You might have recognized us from being at conferences throughout the year. We are a collections and engagement automation platform, and there's really obviously two key words to that statement. We are an engagement platform, so we have an entire omni-channel communication suite that you can use that's proprietary, fully white labeled to engage with your consumers that are 1 day past due all the way up to pre and post charge-off. And then we are an automation platform, so payment agnostic. We plug in any payment gateways really to automate the entire recovery process for any delinquent accounts that you may have. The benefit that we've seen with, Infinity users that have, leveraged our platform is they're able to put their entire recovery process on autopilot and collect 24/7, 365, have tremendous success in, doing champion challengers with other players out there. So really excited to have this integration finalized and really just automate that entire process.
It's awesome. So give me a little experience. Like, what are some of the major issues that you guys solve for these lenders from a standpoint of employees or whatever you guys go in and fix?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the problems that we're solving, as you're probably seeing for those out there that are making outbound phone calls, is consumers are becoming less responsive to picking up the phone. They want a full agentless solution. So for example, we see, I think, roughly about 3/4 of all engagement happens outside of business hours and on the weekends. And about 8 out of 10 payments are coming from a smartphone. Doesn't mean that we're messaging someone at midnight and sending out a text message, but, we're finding the most optimal time to engage with consumers and giving them flexible payment resolution options. But again, I think one of the main things that we're identifying is bringing everything under one roof, and also kind of eliminating this Frankenstein approach to collections where you kind of have a dialer, an email vendor, a voicemail drop vendor. We're bringing everything under one roof and cohesively just streamlining that entire collections process through digital communications.
Okay, well, Dustin, you bring up a perfect segue there. Texting at midnight's kind of frowned upon. So what do you guys do to help out on the compliance side? How do you help the agents not make mistakes?
Yeah, we're not unfamiliar to working with, collection agencies, consumer lenders, both, mid and also enterprise. So we have obviously regulation. F is a huge hot topic, button with the CFPB, TCPA. So all that being said, I'm not the tech wizard here, but what I do know is that we have code-based compliance on autopilot. So as you're moving inventory into the platform, it would be impossible to step outside those compliance rules. Of course, we have manual campaigns that you can run at your leisure, but anything that's incorporated at a state and federal level, we have an entire tech team that can incorporate those rules to ensure that you never step outside of compliance. Mike, as you probably have seen over the years, people have been sued and, lost their license or lost millions of dollars for compliance errors, which I think, is just kind of human nature. So, again, one of the things that we really take seriously is compliance and having rules-based compliance incorporated and hard-coded into our platform.
Okay, so now we got compliance. We understand that. A little bit about what you do. So what type of increased revenue could a lender expect during using Paydit?
I think on average, you would expect to see a 10x return from the case studies that we've had really across industries, but specifically, when you're looking at lenders, we usually see an outperformance of 10 times over their top performing agent. So, we have some that are 14 and 16 times higher than their current, collection rates. So all that being said, I would love to put that to the test for those who are, currently utilizing our platform.
Awesome. So 10 times, that's a pretty good number. So, it sounds like some lenders need to reach out and touch base with you, Dustin. I do appreciate you jumping on the call today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, Mike. Really excited about the integration.
We are too. Are in different ways that you can increase your revenue, one of which is selling debt. As a former lender and servicer myself, I never sold debt. I know a lot of people don't. I know there's a lot of reasons why not to. But right now I'm bringing in Richmond Meyer with Debt Direct Management. He's going to walk us through exactly how that process does. Richmond, how you doing, sir?
Doing great. Thanks, Mike.
Richmond, thank you for joining us today. So I just started with talking a little bit about selling debt. Tell me a little bit about Debt Direct and exactly what you guys do.
Sure. So we're a safe and compliant debt buyer. We've been purchasing for close to 20 years, about $3 billion worth of purchases underneath our belt. We're a safe and compliant, once again, trusted partner in the space that supports the industry.
Okay, so when I'm talking to lenders and they're like, oh, the risk is just too high to sell debt, it's just not worth the money, what do you guys do differently to help protect the lender so that way that's not the case?
Sure. So I think going back in time, when it was the wild, wild west a little bit with kind of the industry in totality, that might have been the case if you had a partner, or not really a partner, a vendor, if you were using a vendor that wasn't a trusted source or someone you didn't know well, or you might have fell for, hey, I want to sell my debt for all the money in the world. These guys are offering crazy prices. Those are situations where potentially someone could have got into a bad situation. Nowadays at Debt Direct, at least speaking for us, we have a business model of no resale. So we don't resell accounts. I think that was probably the largest reason why things got a little messy, if you will. Accounts were kind of all over the place because there were no restrictions. Debt Direct, we created a business model that there is no resale. The buck stops with us, and that alleviates probably 95% of risk out there when you have a trusted partner and you know that those accounts are not going to go anywhere else.
Okay, no, that definitely does help from that standpoint. So we've talked about the risk. What's the reward? What do lenders should be looking at here financially on debt sale? And when should they do it? How old the debt should be to maximize?
Sure. So the reward is twofold. I think first, the only thing anyone's really talking about is the money, right? So if you're selling your debt fresh at, say, 60 days, 90 days, somewhere in there, nowadays you can expect to have your bottom line impacted by about 5%. If you're running a portfolio, you're adding, call it 5% to the bottom line that you don't have right now if you're not in a debt set. For a lot of people, that moves the needle and helps them pay taxes. It helps them pay some law firms. It helps them pay miscellaneous expenses that don't have to come out of the profit. The people that do sell debt or have been selling debt, for the most part, that's become a part of their budget. It's become a part of their forecasting, which I think is important as well nowadays. The other portion outside of the monetary benefit, once again, the impact to your bottom line, is if your portfolio is not being worked, you have a bunch of people that are quote unquote customers in your portfolio that are now telling people that they know, that are friends, family, neighbors, etc., co-workers. They hear about someone's tough times and they say, hey, you can go to X, Y, and Z and get you $1,500 or $2,500 because I did it 3 months ago or 6 months ago or a couple weeks ago, and they really haven't come after their money much. It's a soft collection approach. And so if you want some easy cash right now where everyone's in this crunch, everyone has a bill they need to pay, everyone has an emergency that comes up around the corner, there's people that are sending you, right, future customers that take out loans that have no intention to even pay you back.
Okay.
Lender sells a portfolio, and even if we don't collect any money at all, which is obviously not the case, but the benefit that the lender's getting from that is they're eliminating people telling other people to come get some free money from these guys that are, once again, either soft collecting or no collections at all. There's portfolios that I've talked to people where they've grown in numbers, but their profit margin never grew. And it wasn't until we identified that, hey, you have more and more debtors coming into your growing portfolio too, because you guys don't do anything to your portfolio. So there's a benefit in, I call it plugging the holes, right? The little holes that you can chip, you're plugging those up too in the midst of just your monetary benefit on a debt sale.
Okay, Richmond, I think that's a really good summary of, the debt sale, and you've answered some questions about why they should look to sell because compliance is key. So, Richmond, with Debt Direct Management, I appreciate you for your time, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it as well.
So we get a lot of discussions about collections and different ways you can get your money back, but there's a new way that we've been working on, specifically one of our premier partners, about tying in payments to your IBV. So that way you can actually maybe avoid some collection, which is always great. So joining me right now is Robert Wheeler with Chirp. Robert, how you doing, sir?
Good afternoon. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. Tell me a little about this new product where the payments and IBV and processing all tied together. Sounds kind of cool.
Yes, very, very cool. We've been working on this for a couple of years now. We obviously had to test it before we could market, get feedback, real live testing, and working with the Infinity team, we've been able to do is very, very awesome. Taking the technology from payment processing and taking the technologies of open banking, putting those things together is a big benefit to not only the lender, but also to the consumer. And I'll just kind of high level break that down for you like real quick. Many cases, Thursday or Friday's rolling around, you're collecting your payments, some don't go through, you try it again, you get the customer call. So what we try to do is, can we add some automation or technology to that to kind of smooth that process out or make it more efficient? One thing is, since we're a true open key company, we're connected to the consumer's account, obviously with the consumer, with their permission, lenders can now, if before they take a payment, we can monitor to make sure that that money is actually there before payments actually being attempted to be taken. So that in itself, there's a number of things helps out the lenders. Now they have a lot less unsuccessful payment attempts because now they're only attempting to get when it's actually there. A consumer is pretty happy because now their account's not getting hit when it may not have enough money or they may be overdrafted. So that takes that out of there. So they're saving some money there on NSF fees, overdraft fees. Everybody seems to be very happy with the process. Really, really cool things. What we're doing with Infinity is that we're automating that. So now you can take the manual effort out of that and reallocate those folks to some other part of your business. And this runs 24/7 around the clock. So while you're sleeping, we're still working, making sure that's. So from our testing and the other real life testing that we did, there's really three things that are full. One I just said was the unsuccessful payment attempts go way, way down. Manual effort. You don't need to put in nearly as much, so you can reallocate those folks to other parts of the business. And we've seen, I don't know the exact reason on, but a lot less chargebacks. I'm assuming, we don't know if we don't get to speak to a lot of actual end consumers. We're assuming that the reason that you will see a lot less chargebacks is because you're not taking money that the customer doesn't. I mean, they're not being put into a position where they've got to dispute a charge or propose a charge. So in our testing part of this, people have been very happy. I would say you're probably batting around 75-80% of the time. So if we say, hey, the money's there, 80% of the time it's going to collect it automatically. You don't have to do anything. There's still a gap there of 20%. This could be a timing issue. This could be that debit card tied to this bank account, some things like that. But we're constantly working on, but if we can automate 80% of your collections, usually people are pretty happy with that. While driving down cost of your unsuccessful payment attempts, driving down the cost of your manual efforts, everybody's pretty happy with it. So I'm super happy that Infinity and us are working together to get that done. I can't wait for it to be released so everybody can take advantage of it. But yeah, high level, that's kind of what that we're doing. So thank you again, for the time to kind of explain that. And if you have other questions, we're super happy.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Robert. Yeah, I just wanted everyone to get a little taste of what we're working on. And so pretty exciting stuff. We'll put it in the end of the collection webinar so that way people can, get a little taste of things that come maybe to avoid collection. So
this really works very well with your other partners that are with Infinity, VoApps, Total Collectr, Paydit. This product works very well working with those different groups. So the ability to have access to all that stuff in there is super, super awesome. I think 2024 is going to be a great year. Can't wait. We're starting off on the right foot. So just super excited to see how all this plays. Thank you again.
Awesome, Robert. I appreciate your time. Again, everyone, the exciting new stuff we'll be working on in 24. Thanks, Robert.
Yes, sir. All right, Mike.
I've done a lot of these webinars, and I can honestly say I think this one provided the best content. Using premier partners and using cutting-edge technology to deliver a compliant way to do collections. The last thing we want to do is get in trouble making a little extra money. So please reach out to all these partners. Discuss what strategy is best from you. Either it's dropping voicemails or tying in one of our collection systems or selling debt. There's a lot of different things that you can do inside of our system, and we're here to help. So please let me know if there's anything I can do. Thank you. Again, my name is Michael Morales, Director of Partner Relations with LendSuite.